Yo, what's up, YouTube? As you can see, I'm on the Moonkin right now, which means we're going to be talking about first impressions of the new 10.2 Moonkin and also the 10.2 tier set for Moonkin. I'm going to be doing this first, and we're going to jump into the hunter stuff. Of course, got to do my survival kind of, my thoughts, and also beastmastery, because beastmastery looking really good. But survival has always been my go-to thing, and I just want to talk about it, my own impressions, not impressions of anybody else, but what I believe is actually cool about them, and if there are any new changes. So I appreciate you all being here. As usual, this is not sponsored by anyone, and I'm just going to do like 1 or 2 videos on first impressions because they're the only classes that I'm actually really going to play in 10.2. So what I want to do is talk about several changes to Moonkin. There have been a few changes and moves, but the most notable ones, we have Power of Goldrin and Starlord. They have swapped places. So previously, you've had to always go through 2 points of a single target spell into Starlord, which made it pretty clunky because sometimes you didn't want a single target spell in AoE, but now because now you have Starlord up here, this is always good to take. If you don't need like single target damage, you can take 2 points out of there. Maybe even go down this path down this way if you don't need single target damage, and go Sundered Firmament, or even 1 point into. Oh no, actually that's probably the only way because that needs 2 points, or swapping things around. Maybe taking one out of, oh, you can't. I don't know. I haven't really played it too much, but being able to take 2 points of Power of Goldrin and playing this and getting all 3 bottom ones is actually might be really good. You're getting a free Fury of the Elune, and you're also getting Astral Power Reduction. So I haven't theory crafted any of this, but I think this is a very good change because now you do not have to pick up Power of Goldrin, or you can even put 1 point in Power of Goldrin or 1 point into Balance of all things if you don't want this last tier. Getting a little bit more power into your buck there is really good. Quite enjoy that. The next thing is Rattle of the Stars. So there was a post saying that having to keep up Starlord and also having to keep up Rattle of the Stars, which is 2 different durations, was very hard for Moonkins, while it showed like really good experience and mastery with the class to be able to always keep your Starlord, or your Starlord always getting the 3 stacks straight after it falls off, while also keeping up your 2 stacks of Rattle of the Stars was very hard. But this just makes Moonkin a very little bit more easier. But now Rattle of the Stars just increases the damage and reduces their cost by 10%. That's a good change too. So all these changes here are very nice for Moonkin. And the one that I actually love the most, as you can see, I'm tallied into it. They have made Wild Mushroom, and there used to be another talent down here that just buffed the damage and put the slow on. They've made it into one spell. So this is going to give us the instant dot damage to proc Waning Twilight like that. We won't have to use all these chances in Astral Smolder to get the Waning Twilight, where you're going to get a whole bunch of Astral Power. You're going to get Waning Twilight up very faster. You're going to have your Starfall running down faster as well. And I feel this is going to make Moonkin really good again. Just being in Mythic Plus, because you're just going to be able to get this up straight away in AoE. You will just get your Moonfires up, then your Sunfire, throw your Wild Mushroom, start spanning. The next thing is we have Orbital Strike. So this used to be in your Arcanic Pulsar here, where you could swap this between, and you'd have this or Orbital Strike, but they've changed it into here. This one is a 1.5 minute cooldown, which when you use it, it pretty much puts Starfall. I always forget what it's called. Stellar Flare. Even more wrong here. Stellar Flare. It puts Stellar Flare on all those targets. If I just really run over here, put this on F4, put the line target, get the dots up, and just get into Wrath and Stellar Flare, it does a whole bunch of instant damage on a 1.5 minute cooldown, and it puts Stellar Flare, which also procs your Waning Twilight. So if you want like a 1.5 minute class where you just burst something down, burst the whole pack down, or you want something that's more consistent, we get a lot more different options now. So you do a whole bunch of damage, and then you do the Stellar Flare for 16 seconds, which isn't buffed by Ethereal Kindling, so that doesn't increase when you use Starfall, only your Moonfire and Sunfire. So Moonkin is actually getting some very good changes in terms of talent choices. Very, very excited. Getting a super massive burst consistency, one less thing to track in terms of buffs that we need to do, and just overall a lot of different choices that we can do. We can even not run Lunar Shrapnel, put more into Waning Twilight. This is probably going to go for Arcanic Pulsar, because that's always great. You always would want to run Arcanic Pulsar, but a lot more different changes and things that you can flip around elsewhere. So talent choices, very excited, and once I get some more information on them, I'll share them with everyone. But I just wanted to show you the balanced Druid talent points updated, my personal view. All right, so we'll just talk about the 2 set and the 4 set, but we're going to talk about the 2 set a little bit more than the 4 set, because the 4 set sort of just really passive. We have a read the 2 set, not 4 set, that's 2 set. When you enter in combat, or your current eclipse ends, so your lunar eclipse or your solar eclipse ends, the next 2 Wraths or Starfires are reduced by 40% cast time, and their damage increased by 60%, which is insanely good, because this pretty much makes you get into either of your eclipse very fast, and it just makes the gameplay so much better. Like, being in your eclipses faster, meaning you're just doing more damage. And then your 4 set, every time you use a Star Surge or a Starfall, your current lunar eclipse or your solar eclipse, the nature damage is just passively increased. So something you don't really, I'm going to really worrying about too much. You're going to want to fit more, of course, Starfalls and Surges into your eclipses, so you get more damage, but it's something that you're probably not even going to even bother at all. Like, at all. The biggest thing is the 2 set. Now let's just say I'm going to go into combat straight away. I'm going to put my dots up, and I'm in combat. So the next 2 Wraths, see how quick they were, and boom, you just you get into your lunar eclipse super fast. So we have 5 seconds into the lunar eclipse, it falls off. If I cast Starfire twice, boom, very fast into your lunar, and that's how it works. It just pretty much says your next 2 spells are buffed by 60%. One thing with Moonkin is that if you are casting your Starfire or you're casting your Wrath as your eclipse ends, it counts to your next eclipse, meaning you'd only need to cast one of your next buff spell. Or so if you're already planning to go into lunar, or if you're already planning to go into solar, you would be casting either Starfire or Wrath to already get into your next one, which would mean that you'd only need one extra Starfire or Wrath to get into the eclipse, which would mean the next Wrath or Starfire that is already in your eclipse does 60% more damage. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get into these just very quickly, get into solar. I'm just going to smash solar. Yeah, I'm just looking up here. We have 7 seconds, just bursting. All right, so we have 3 seconds, I'm going to start casting Starfire now. So 1 Starfire, cast 1 Starfire. The next Wrath is going to be super fast, and that's going to be 60% more damage. So that's going to make maximizing and minimizing Moonkin really, really good without needing to manage your Star Lords and your Rattle of the Stars. So it makes Moonkin actually very, very nice. So if you can get your, say you're in AoE, and we're just bursting AoE damage, boom, boom, and we have 8 seconds, 5 seconds. So we're looking up here on the top right, we're going to start casting Wrath now. First Wrath, second Wrath, and that I must have cast it wrong. But as you can see, if you can time it right, the next damage of your next empowered spell within your eclipse is going to do a lot more damage. So Wrath, 1 second, casting Wrath, too slow again. I was too slow again. I should be casting probably at 1 second, but I'm casting at 2 seconds. We're going to try it once more time so I can show you guys that it actually works both ways. So we did it the solo way, so 2 second, 1 second, casting Wrath, boom, boom, boom. It's just going to feel so good. So the 2 set is more impactful than 4 set, because the 4 set is just going to give you passive nature and lunar damage, but being able to sort of snapshot your Wraths and then getting the very quick next one in your eclipse, doing more damage, and also getting buffed by your lunar eclipse and your solar eclipse just means, ooh, I'm super excited for Moonkin next pack. Haven't really thought about like single target or multi-target. I don't know what talents you're going to be using, but just being able to have orbital strike or being able to use wild mushrooms and not really having the chance to crit from Starfire or Wrath to put the dot up is just going to make AoE much more fun for me. So for you, any other Moonkins out there that have tested the PTR, let me know what your thoughts are about the changes, the tier set, and how excited are you for Moonkin 2.2? As I mentioned, we are going to be doing the Hunter tier set mostly for Survival Hunter, and if there are, we're going to look through the talent tree. If there are any changes, tier 10.2 Moonkin returns. There's also a Fire Moonkin model that you can get from Council Fight. I believe it's the Council Fight. I am ready. Let's go.